Okay, what does the LCD say about int reference? Int reference. Oh, I mean interference. What does the LCD say about interference? Part 12 of this course. I've gone all the way down to section 7 in the LCD. If I don't cover it in this tutorial, you don't need to know about it, so don't worry about it. And we're looking at interference, and it's a very small section. So why have I be nice if I can highlight. I can't highlight. Can't highlight, doesn't matter. Interference. The licensee must not operate an amateur station if its operation causes harmful interference to radio communication. Now the key word there is harmful. Harmful interference is defined. Harmful interference is interference to another radio communication service. I touched on this earlier. Another licensed radio communication service is not a television. It's not a clock radio. It's not a sound system. It's not some other domestic device. Harmful interference is interference to a licensed radio communication service. The service receiving the interference has a license. If interference occurs between a radio amateur and a licensed radio communication service, the amateur must stop transmitting. Get the person getting the interference to contact ACMA if you can. If you can't, do it yourself. It does not mean that you are at fault. It could well be that the licensed radio communication service is at fault. But nevertheless, you're obliged to stop transmitting until the problem's investigated and you are told by ACMA or someone in authority that you can retransmit again. So just remember there's interference and harmful interference. Televisions don't get harmful interference. You do not have to stop transmitting if it's reported to you that a television in your street is getting interference. It might be diplomatically advisable for you to limit or restrict your operation to get along with that person, but you do not have to stop transmitting. Now I just noticed here also, remember we were talking about spurious emission limits? They used to be in the document amateur radio operation and they were gone. They're back here. Here are the limits for radio emissions from amateur stations. You don't need to know them. You won't be tested on them. Like I said before, the important thing is you realise there are limits for radio communication stations. There are limits for spurious emissions from amateur radio stations.